eyes look at the red dot. Good. Now can you follow the red dot with your eyes? Good. Keep going. Now there are 3 colored dots in a row. What color are they? Good. Now which one is blinking? Good. And what color are they now? Which one is blinking? What color are they now? Good, and which one's blinking? Good. Now keep your eyes on the white dot in the center. You're going to hear different sounds in your ears. Can you tell me if you hear them in your left ear or in your right ear? Good. Good. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Good. Mm-hmm. Good. Yes. Mm-hmm. Good. Good. Excellent. Now let me go ahead and take these electrodes off of you. And let's see if we can get a little light on in here. Let's see. Just gonna peel that back. Okay. Good. We'll get some new ones later. Oh, that one's tricky. Okay. Right, and good. How you feeling? Okay, well, your initial testing scores were good, but there are several areas where we could do a little bit of improvement. Some areas of your brain are quite overactive and fatigued, while some of your brain is not being stimulated enough and is exhausted by trying to find worthwhile things to tackle. So we are going to get some fresh electrodes on you, put them in a few different places, and I have a list of different areas of the brain that we can tackle here. Hopefully we can get everything nice and relaxed, give the parts that are understimulated something to chew on, and the parts that are overstimulated something to soothe them. Alright? Let me grab my little sheet of electrodes here. Is that all of them? I think so. So we are going to be working with the cerebrum, the cerebellum, as well as the brainstem. So I want one right here on the frontal lobe and a little bit into the parietal. Is this comfortable? Okay. I need one side of the temporal here. Other side. And then we need to come back here, so we're going to get the occipit and cerebellum and the brainstem. Okay, I'm just going to press around on these, make sure they're secure, and then we can get to our little exercises or tests or miniature assessments, however you want to go about that. Okay, that looks pretty secure. So if you feel anything lifting, just let me know and we can push these back down or we can replace them. Alright. So we want to start with our frontal lobe as part of the cerebrum. The very first thing we're going to do is we are going to do a finger tapping test. So I'm just going to demonstrate right here on this little piece of wood. What I'm going to have you do is with one hand, you're going to tap your index finger as fast as you can, while the other hand supinates and pronates. And it's just going to look like this. Very simple. So if I could have you just put your hand on the table here, okay? Pick one hand to pronate and supinate, one hand to tap. And can you do that as fast as you can? We'll do that for about 10 seconds, okay? And go. Okay. And switch. Pronate, supinate, pronate, supinate. Tap, tap, tap. Very good. And stop. So, which hand was your dominant and which was your non-dominant? Okay. So that would explain the little bit of a slower reaction time. Would you mind doing that just once more for me? So one hand pronates and supinates, the other hand taps along. All right? and go. And switch. Okay, go. Yeah, that would be the non-dominant hand there. But still pretty quick. That's good. Okay, go ahead and stop. So, we are going to do a little sorting test. It's going to go dark, and you are going to see 3 cards. These have different designs on them. Now, another card appears. Could you please tell me what card this belongs with? Left, center, right, left, center, right. Which card does this belong to? Good. And what about now? Good. How about now? And this one. Okay, and how about this one? Okay, and this one. Excellent. Hello again. Now, our next tests are testing the parietal lobe of the brain up here. So we're going to start with 2-point discrimination. What that means is I'm going to touch you in one place or 2. And you just have to tell me 1 or 2. Okay? This is what 1 feels like. 1. This is 2. 2. Alright. So, close your eyes and just tell me 1 or 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 2, 2. 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 1. Enough of the 2s. 1, 1, 1. Good. Now, I'm going to write on your hand. And for me, it would look something like this. So this would be a 9 for me. And that would be a 1, 2, 3, 8, 5, 6, 9, 7. So I'm just going to do that on your palm here. So if I could have you just tell me what number you feel me writing on your hand. Can you guess the number? 1, 4, 8, 9, 2, 3, 6, 5. Good. And now on the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And can you guess what number I'm tracing on your other hand? 3, 1, 8, 2, 5, 4, 9, 7, 6. Very good. Now, I am going to ask you where you feel my touch. So, if I were to touch you right here, for example, where would this be? Right here. That would be the center of the forehead. Good. So, close your eyes and tell me where you feel my finger touch. Tip of the nose. Temple. Temple. Chin. Jaw. Jaw. Cheek. Cheek. Eyebrow. Eyebrow. Forehead. Nose. Chin. Cheek. Temple. Jaw. Good. Jaw. Temple. Cheek. Excellent. Now, our temporal lobe here. This one is going to have to do a lot with memory and attention. So I am going to repeat some words here, and I'll just have you repeat them back for me, okay? All right. Lemon, lime, grapefruit. Good. Cherry, strawberry, blueberry, raspberry. Good. Orange, green, white, brown, blue. Yes, good. Pink, black, purple, red, yellow, orange. Good. Bird, lizard, dog, cat, salamander, turtle, fish. Okay, getting a little tricky now, yeah. And let's just see how far we can go with that, how much we can still get accurate. White, yellow, orange, green, pink, red, blue, brown, black. Okay, that's most of them. That's good. How about cherry, lime, lemon, strawberry, many of those can you get? Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, good. Now I'm going to grab a blank sheet of paper. And I'm going to have you read the phrase, the sentence, and just read it back to me if you can. How about this first one? Right here. The brown dog likes to lay in the sun. Good. How about this one right here? The orange cat is always getting into boxes. Good. We should name that cat Jorts. Change it up a little bit. What do we have here? Overhead, there are 3 birds and 1 plane. Good. How about right here? Plastic can come in any shape or color. Good. About this one. Bears can be black, brown, and white. I just saw a little post recently asking about a certain kind of bear. People weren't sure if it was a sun bear or a brown bear. Bears can come in a lot of colors. Right here. The lights are a mixture of blue, yellow, and green. Good. I have some papers with some drawings on them. There will be a main drawing that you need to memorize, and then there will be a series of 4 drawings that you need to pick out the correct drawing from. So let me show you this one. If you could just take a look at this particular drawing here, memorize it. was the picture. Which of these four? Good. About this one. Just take a moment to memorize this particular drawing. Good. And which drawing replicates the picture that you saw? Which of these drawings? This one right here. Let me just double check. You are correct. Last one. Just take a moment. Memorize this drawing. We'll see which one matches. Which of these drawings did you just see? Which one? Very good. Our next lobe that we're going to tackle is our occipital lobe. And then we'll move on to the cerebellum. So the occipital lobe, we're going to have everything go dark again. And I'm going to ask you if these colors look the same or if they are different. So these colors right here, are they the same or are they different? Good. And what about these? Are these the same or are they different? Good. And how about these? Are they the same? Are they different? Good. And these? Okay. What about these? And these ones, are these the same or are they different? Good. And how about these? Okay. And last one, are these the same or are they different? I am going to ask you to tell me where in your visual field you see a white dot. So just tell me, if it's in the upper left quadrant, if it's in the middle, if it's at the very top, at the bottom, anything like that. So, where is the white dot? Good. And where's the white dot now? Mm-hmm. Okay, where's it now? Mm-hmm. Good. Mm-hmm. Okay. So, you'll see me again. And now we're going to test your peripheral vision. I'm going to have you look right at my nose here. And I will have my fingers wiggling on one side or the other. And I just want you to keep looking at my nose and just be looking at my fingers out of the corners of your vision. So, can you tell me which side is wiggling, left or right? Mm-hmm. Good. Both right off the bat. Mm-hmm. Good. Mm-hmm. Yes. Good. Mm-hmm. Yep. Good. Yes. Good. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yes. Good. Mm-hmm. Good. Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. Good. Now, I'm going to have you cover one eye here. And I'm going to cover that same eye. And just tell me when you see my fingers come into your vision, right? Good. 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 Okay. And the other side, if you could just cover that. Good. Good. Mm-hmm. Excellent. Go ahead and uncover your eyes. So we're going to move to the cerebellum, which has a big hand in coordination, for example, and fine-tuning movements. So you might see someone with cerebellar disease or damage where they could still walk, they can still write, they can still talk. It's just going to be different. Their writing might be very messy. Their walking might not be quite straight. Their speech may not be quite normal in cadence and speed in how they pronounce things. There might be some differences. So, I'm going to just say a few phrases or sentences. I'd like you to just repeat that and we can test your speech. There is an orange sun high in the sky. A library sits on the corner of 36th and Cole. Concrete sprawls out for miles and miles. Aromas of coffee and industry waft through the streets. There is a water main break up ahead. I see 2 yellow cars, 1 red car, and a green car. Good. And I picked out 3 yams, 1 potato, and 2 onions. Very good. Now I am going to test your coordination with a very common test called the nose finger coordination test. I'm going to have my finger in front of your nose, and you are just going to touch your nose and then my finger. But I'm going to be moving my finger around, and you're just going to follow as best as you can the finger. So I'll have you touch your nose and touch my finger. Nose, finger, nose, finger, nose, finger, nose, finger, nose, finger. Just keep going. Back and forth. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Good. Good. Okay. Now, last of our cerebellar tests, we are going to test for Dysdiadochokinesia, of which we've already kind of rolled out a little bit with our finger tapping test. But we're going to try that in a bit of a variation. I'm going to have you put your palms together. And you're going to flip your hand on your fingers here. The backs of your fingers touch the fronts of your fingers here. Come back. Flip again. Flip back and forth. Back and forth, back and forth. Dysdiadochokinesia means that you have an inability to perform these rapid movements. So, if I could have you put your palms together. Flip, 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 and go as fast as you can. Good. Keep going. Good. And switch. Palms together. Backs of fingers. Palms, backs, and flip. Good, and your non-dominant hand is probably going to be a little slower, and that's just fine. That's just fine. And you can stop. Lastly, we have the brainstem. So I am going to be touching you in different ways. I may slide my finger, I might tap, I might press. I want you to tell me what kind of touch you feel, whether it's the sliding, the tapping, or the pressing. Alright? Okay, go ahead and close your eyes. Alright. And we'll go right here. Slide. Tap. Press. Good. Slide. Press. Now I am going to touch both sides of your face. I want you to tell me if there's any difference in the touch at all. So if I go tap, 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 does that feel the same as tap, tap? Okay. If I slide here, does it feel the same as right here? Good. And if I press right here, does it feel the same as pressing right here? Okay, and if I tap, tap, tap right there, does that feel the same as tap, tap, tap right there? Okay, if I were to slide right here, does that feel the same as sliding right there? If I press right here, does that feel the same as pressing right here? Good, okay. Now, a little hearing test. I've had you repeat phrases and sentences and words, but this time we're just going to do one word at a time, alright? So if you could just repeat back the word that you hear. Okay. House. Concrete. Guitar. Plywood. Plastic. Chartreuse. Leaf. Duct. Scrub. Chair. Board. Tea. Leg. Foam. Shelf. Iridescent. Carpet. Box. Sun. Axe. Pack. Red. Form. Bike. Good. Now, last one. Just gonna get my light out and I'm gonna look at your pupillary response. So if you could just look at my nose here. We're just going to bring the light in. So a lot of testing for your brainstem involves the cranial nerves. So we tested our vestibulocochlear, we tested our trigeminal. This one is for our optic nerve. Just keep looking right here. In a way, we've tested cranial nerves 3, 4, and 6, which govern eye movement. Eye movement. Good. Good. Okay. Now, I am just going to be pulling off your electrodes. So, we've got our occipital, brainstem, cerebellum node, or electrode rather, one temporal, the other. Good. And frontal, parietal. There we go. Okay, let me just get that little hair off of you. There we go. So that is going to conclude our time here at the Center for brain relaxation, and it looks like based on your brain activity from our little exercises, things are a lot more normalized. They're a lot more of a regular baseline as opposed to some being very high, some being very low. So I would like to thank you so much for joining me for these exercises here at the Center for Brain Relaxation. I hope you have a whale of a day and a good rest of your night.